You just share on the YouTube. Okay. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, which is titled as The Perfection of Renunciation, and the verse number 20. So you can repeat after me. Sarva Bhudeshu Yenaigam
Sarvabhuteshu yenakam
Bhavam Avyayam Ikshade
bhavam avyayam ikshate
Abhay Bhaktam Vai Vibhakseshu
Avibhaktam vibhakshesu
Tajnanam Vidin Swatigam
tajnanam vidhi
satvikam
satvik
Sarva Bhudeshu Enaigam
sarvabhuteshu
sarvabhuteshu
yenakam
yenaikam
Bhavam Avyayam Ikshade
bhavam
bhavam
avyayam
avyayamikshate
Avibhaktam Vibhakseshu
avibhaktam
avibhaktam vibhakteshu
Tajnanam Vidhi Swatigam
tatjnanam
tajnanam
vidhi
vidhi
satvikam
satvik
Sarva Bhudeshu Enaigam
sarvabhuteshu
sarvabhuteshu
yenakam
yenaikam
Bhavam Avyayam Ikshase
bhavam
bhavam
avyayam
avyayam ikshate
Abhibhaktam Vibhakseshu
avibhaktam
avibhaktam
vibhakteshu
vibhakteshu
Tajnanam Vidhi Swatigam.
tajnanam vidhi
tajnanam vidhi
satvikam
satvik
Please recite.
sarvabhut Go ahead, Mataji.
Sarvabhuteshu yenaikam
Sarva Bhudeshu Enaigam
bhavam avyam ikshate
Bhavam Avyayam Ikshade
avibhaktam vibhakteshu
Avibhaktam Vibhakteshu
tajnanam vidhi satvikam
Tajjanam Vidhi Swatigam
Sarvabhuteshu yenikam
Sarva Bhudeshu Enaikam
bhavam avyayam ikshate
Bhavam Avyayam Ikshade
ikshate
avibhaktam vibhakteshu
Avibhaktam
avibhaktam
Vibhakteshu
vibhakteshu
tajjnanam vidhi satvikam
Tajjanam Vidhi
tajnanam vidhi
Swatigam.
satvik
Anybody else?
sarvabhuteshu yenaikam
Sarva Bhudeshu Enaikam
bhavam avyayam ikshate
Bhavam Avyayam Ikshade
avibhaktam vibhakteshu
Avibhaktam Vibhakteshu
tajnanam vidhi satvik
Tajnanam Vidhi Satvigam. Anybody else? Okay, thank you, dear devotees, for reciting nicely. So let's go to the synonyms, word by word meaning. Sarva Bhudeshu, in all living entities. Ena, by which. Egam, one. Bhavam, situation. Avyayam, imperishable. Ikshade, one sees. Abhibhaktam, undivided. Vibhakteshu, in numberless divided. Tad, that. Jnanam, knowledge. Vidhi, know. Swatigam, in the mode of goodness. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation, please repeat after me. Translation, that knowledge by which, please go ahead.
That knowledge
by which
One undivided spiritual nature
one
undivided spiritual nature
is seen in all living entities
is
is
seen in
seen
all
in
Seen in all
entities.
living entities,
though they are divided into innumerable forms.
though they are
though
divided
they are divided into
innumerable
innumerable
into
forms.
forms.
You should understand to be in the mode of goodness.
You
You
should
should
You should understand to be
in
in
the
the mode of
of
goodness.
Purport. A person who sees one spirit soul in every living being, whether a demigod, human being, animal, bird, beast, aquatic, or plant, possesses knowledge in the mode of goodness. In all living entities, one spirit soul is there, although they have different bodies in terms of their previous work. As described in the 7th chapter, the manifestation of living being, living force in everybody is due to the superior nature of the Supreme Lord. Thus, to see that one superior nature, that living force in everybody is to see in the mode of goodness. That living energy is imperishable, although the bodies are perishable. The differences are perceived in terms of the body because there are many forms of material existence in conditioned life. The living force appears to be divided. Such impersonal knowledge is an aspect of self-realization. Om Nagyanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalaghaya Chakshurunmilidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stabidam Yena Bhudale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadadi Supadandigam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Raghunathanidam Dam Sajivam Sadhvaidam Savadudam Parijana Sahidam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalidam Shri Vishakhanidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dhinabandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarupasya Kripa Sindhubhye Evacha Padidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Sahana Vavadu Sahanau Bhunaktum Sakaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinamadidastu Ma Vidushavahay Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, get into the class. Just trying to mute. Okay. So we were going through this chapter. This chapter is titled as The Perfection of Renunciation. So the core theme of this chapter is the renounced order of life, or called sannyasa, and the renouncing the fruitive results of the activities is called tyaga. So this chapter, the initially based on these aspects of the Krishna is revealing the importance of the sannyasa, or the renounced order of life, or renouncing all the material activities based on the material desires. So that means pretty much our life is completely surrounded by this. So that causes the bondage, that creates the entanglement. So the material bondage and the entanglement, what is the results of material bondage and entanglement? That again and again we take birth in this world because of our attachment to this material world, material nature, and material desires. So that's why, in one sense, Bhagavad explains that one takes in this birth, one in this world, to fulfill his desires. So person, living entities are taking different forms of the bodies is to fulfill his various desires. Like for a lion or a tiger or a monkey or a crocodile or a fish or a rat or a mouse, different kinds of animals or a human in varieties of human, they have the birth accordingly. And also at the same time, they have to suffer as well. So this is the a duality of this world. So this world has this duality. It's not that easy, everything is easy here in this world. Everybody has to suffer and struggle in order to get it. And that degree of suffering and distress varies according to their past karma. Somebody has did good things, so they get the good results in this life. Somebody was so attachment and they are so attached to this passionate and they are so attached to this world in every day-to-day life and they cannot come out of it. And some are so in ignorance and the mode of darkness and they suffer in this world in such a way that, and these are all going through their good karma, bad karma. So here in this chapter, Krishna is revealing in it, especially in this section, about the Nishkam karma. So that's why this chapter is also titled as a summary of Gita. So in the beginning of section, there is Karma Yoga. There is then when we come to the Jnana Yoga, then there is also the the Bhakti Yoga. So this is the way it is divided, these chapters. So this chapter is pretty much gives the full understanding of what a person is supposed to do. In the last class, I mentioned about the art of living. So one has to learn that what is the art of living, how we can live in this world. So here in this chapter, Krishna is revealing that how one should not be entangled in this world. So every entanglement or bondage, our repeated birth and death, dear devotees, based on our furtive activities and all the activities based on our selfish desires. So this is the truth which is beyond our perception that Krishna is revealing to us. So we are all eternally part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Savai pumsha paru dharmo redor bhakti radokshate. Hagetuhi apradihada edatma suprasidada. Savai pumsha paro dharma, Srimad Bhagavatam explains, Savai pumsha paro dharma, everybody's eternal duty, the parab dharma, is to perform loving devotional service unto the adokshada, unto that Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, but because of our forgetfulness, because of our ignorance and the forgetfulness, we completely devoid of all our the eternal devotional service. Rather, we completely surrounded and completely engaged in the material activities. That is because of our ignorance, and that's because of our forgetfulness. These two things actually leads our life in a miserable condition. But this Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna is speaking, is with his own mouth, as if it's pure nectar. So anything which is in relationship with the Krishna is a nectar. So this Krishna speaks his lotus mouth, and these words are not ordinary words. These are transcendental truth. And Krishna reveals that in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. This transcendental science or imperishable transcendental science or Arjuna imparted to the sun god Vivaswan. Vivaswan in turn instructed to Manu. Manu instructed to the Shwagu. Then in due course of time, it is lost in time. Then I am revealing this transcendental knowledge up unto you now. Then Arjuna asked this question, "Oh Krishna, how is it possible you and I take birth now? How is it possible that you speak this, that you told this to the sun god Vivaswan, the 120 million years ago?" And Krishna says into that, "Yes, both you and Arjuna that passed many, many lifetimes, but I remember all of them, but you are not." So, dear devotees, we had this transcendental knowledge in the beginning. We are all eternal spirit soul. Originally, Satchidananda Vigraha, the Satchit Anand, that's the nature of the spirit soul. Sat means eternal, Chit means full of potency, knowledge, and Ananda means full of bliss. So this knowledge is originally there. Because of our avidya, or avidya in combination with Maya Shakti, covered this transcendental knowledge. So because of avidya, or the ignorance, which in combination with Maya Shakti covers our Chit potency, or the transcendental original knowledge, that original knowledge that we are all eternal part and parcel of the Lord, we have to serve the Krishna. We have to eternally relate with the Krishna. And we forgot that because of our that avidya, the ignorance, we completely forgot. And then we put ourselves in the center and we take up that I am the Lord of everything, I am the enjoyer, I am the creator, I am the maintainer, I am the proprietor. So I have the rights, I am entitled to enjoy whatever I do in this. And that's what we do every day. We enjoy our life every day in that consciousness. So when we have that consciousness, naturally we forget our original consciousness. That is our real ego. That means original identity. You all have identity. When we have this original identity, or the ego, that we are eternally part and parcel of the Supreme, eternal spirit soul, and we are eternally related with the Lord, we are all have that the same quality of the Lord, and which given to us to remember and serve and to worship that Supreme Lord, because of we are eternally in that consciousness. Superior nature of the Lord. But when it's come in contact with this material nature or illusory energy of the Lord, which is an incompatible situation. That's why when we are in incompatible situation, then we suffer in this material world. And Srila Prabhupada give an example. Srila Prabhupada gave this example of a fish in the water and fish on the land. The original place, abode of the fish is the water, so that it's live very, satisfactorily. But the moment the fish is taken out of the water and put it on the land, he struggles for his life. Exactly like that, we are also struggle our life in this world. That's why we are having this birth, death, old age, and diseases. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. One point of time we are taking birth, and after some time we die and we suffer. We goes to the old age and various diseases, and this is repeated birth, samsara chakra. We are entangled. We are completely into this samsara chakra. Samsara means the material ocean. Material ocean is full of miseries and ashashudam dukhalayam, and that's a fact. That's a fact, and we are going through that, but we are pretending ourselves that we are happy in this world. Why? Because we are not understanding what is our original constitutional duty and what is our occupational duty, our prescribed duty. So then Krishna revealing in this chapter about the importance of this, the renounced order of life and a renunciation or tyaga, or renouncing the fruits of our activities. So we have to always situate in Krishna context. Srila Prabhupada established this movement. Srila Prabhupada understood. I was going through, and it's mentioned that there are two kinds of Shakti Avesha Avadar. One is direct, that Krishna takes that the birth, and second is actually Krishna empowers the living entity Jiva to perform his own activities, Krishna's activities. So like Srila Prabhupada, such an empowered, that Shakti Avesha, and empowered Lord Krishna is empowered the Supreme Srila Prabhupada and selected the Srila Prabhupada to reveal this transcendental knowledge to us, and that Srila Prabhupada established by the mercy of the Lord that we are all, our duty, eternal dharma, our yuga dharma, is to chant the holy name of the Lord. In order to establish this yuga dharma, Srila Prabhupada traveled all over the places and then established yuga dharma, which is revealed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is none other than the Supreme Lord Krishna and the Radharani. There are Gauri Purnima is coming, we'll be explaining more on the appearance and the reasons of the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that is revealed. And this is from this Krishna, this is from the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this Yuga Dharma. And Srila Prabhupada, in order to attain in this age of Kali, the Yuga Dharma, the chanting of the holy name and being Krishna consciousness is the ultimate Param Dharma in this age of Kali. So how we can do that, that's what Sri Bhagavad Gita is explaining. Krishna is revealing that how we can do that. And the very most important is that we should not be entangled with our activities, material activities, and we should not be entangled with the fruits of our material activities. And we should be completely taken shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, when Kardama Muni, the Supreme Lord appeared before the Kardama Muni, and Kardama Muni offering beautiful praise to the Supreme Lord. Kardama Muni praying that, "Oh Lord, O Supreme Lord, your lotus feet is the only shelter. Your lotus feet is the only shelter and the only vessel. That one who takes this lotus feet can only cross over this material ocean. Otherwise, he will be completely suffering in this world. Only way," Kardamuni praying like this, only way that one can cross over these sufferings of this material ocean, only through your lotus feet, O Lord. So, dear devotees, this is the exact understanding that whatever we do, dear devotees, which is temporary in this world, it doesn't yield any good results, but it's entangled to us, and we, because of this temporary happiness or called illusory energy, we think that this is everything. So that I am completely, this is my possession. Even a little child gets some little toy, says, "Oh, this is mine." That's our nature. "Oh, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. Oh, I have this, I have this." I'm trying 16th chapter explains very clearly. And every day by day, everybody accumulating so much and so much and so much, and says that, "I have so much of wealth now. I will accumulate more and more so that nobody can defeat me, so that I get all the prestige, I get all the respect, I get all the name and the fame and the pratishta. I get everything." But the devotees, day by day, our days are passing. We are getting very closer to our final examination. Death, the life is a preparation and death is an examination. So we need to come to this point, come to our proper consciousness and understanding. Oh Lord, we are all going to come to that final examination very soon. We don't know. That's why it says, the Srimad Bhagavatam says that Shubhasya Shikram. Shubhasya Shikram means as soon as possible, one has to come to this original Krishna consciousness. There is a sage, there is a king who had fought with the, this entire life he's fought with helping, this Devadas fight against the, enemies. And then finally the battle is over. Indra asked, "You are helping us, what boon you need?" And this Maharaj mentioned that, "I didn't know how much long I live." And Indra said, looked at him and said, "You have only 2 minutes. And realized that, I wasted all my life. What did I do?" So immediately king, I forgot the name, immediately sat down and meditated upon the Supreme Lord and attained the Supreme Lord. The devotees, we don't know. Death is an uninvited guest. We never know when it is going to come. Never expect that, we have much time left. Kulasegara Alvar, in his book, it is mentioned that what is that book called? Muguddamala Stotra. It is mentioned that we should always seize that death is our very near. That we are all getting closer to in the lap of the death. And that's what it is. We are all getting old. Now, after a few days, after a few years, and we are all getting old, and then we are diminished. Then we can think now, like Sri Shankaracharya says that Balas Tavad Krida Sakta. When a child is in the child form, he is Krida. He's always engaged in his play, games and all. Balas Tavad Krida Sakta, Tarunis Tavad Taruni Sakta. When it is the youth of the age looking for the equal partner, Taruni Sasta or Tarunasta or Taruni Sasta. Vruddhastavad Chinda Sakta. And then when it come to the age of Vruddha, like 50 years after an old, it's very much in Chinda. Chinda means in anxiety. Always thinking, how will I pass through? How will I go through this old age? So much, debt I have. How will I fulfill and spend my life, all those things. And Vruddhastavad Chinda Sakta and Parabrahma Kopina Koi na Sakta. Nobody is actually there, is remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead and says that Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamade Samprapte Sanihide Kale Nahi Nahi Rakshadi Dukhrim Karane. Bhaja Govindam, worship the Supreme Lord, chant the glories of the Govinda. At the time of death, nothing else will save you. Nothing, the scholarship or your scholarly knowledge, nothing can grammatical, nothing can save you. The wealth and the fame and the health, nothing can save you. So this is the truth. We are all coming into this being. From that, we are all eternal spirit souls. So our eternal duty, dharma, is to understand this and engaging in the loving devotional service so that we come out from this, our material entanglement and attachment. That's why Krishna is revealing here in this chapter very, very important aspects of the sannyas, the renounced order of life, and then renouncing the results. And we explained many times in the past classes that renounced order of life means that, we just left everything and go to the forest and do nothing. No, whatever we are doing and everything is actually in relationship with the Supreme Lord. Understanding that I am the eternal servant of the Lord. Whatever I do, et karoshi adasnasi et chikosi dadasiyas, es tavasyasi kaundeya tat kurusham adarpanam. Then that's what it is. Krishna is revealing here that whatever you do, whatever activities you perform, all that as an offering to me. So this way we are free from our entanglement, repeated birth and death, from this cycle of, that's the chain cycle of the repeated birth and death. So then Krishna further gives that wonderful understanding of that. We think that we are the doer. And Krishna is revealing that no, there are 5 factors involved in it. There is the place of the action, that means the body, the performer, that the spirit soul, and the various senses, that including the mind. And then there is the endeavor, that various kinds of endeavor that desires a person has, and then the super soul. And Krishna says that whoever does the right and wrong thing, these 5 factors are involved. Knowingly or unknowingly, these are involved. Then Krishna says that one who does not know, one who is actually completely deluded by the false ego. False ego means ahankar, I am everything. Its calls come from me. I am the complete, I am the right, I am the thing. So when one has this ahankar, this false ego, then he cannot understand how these are all taking place. So there are Supreme Soul in every aspects of our life, in every activities of our life. Supreme Lord is involved. And it is mentioned that everything is actually as per the will of the Lord. So Lord sanctions everything. Without the will of the Lord, nothing happens. But a person, a performer, spirit soul desires, and then it takes place in the body. That's our body or the place of the action. Then various senses and the mind involved into it, the desires. Then the endeavor comes into the picture. And then this is the way an action takes place in this world. So similarly, Krishna is revealing that, likes that. So there are 3 constituent, very important, 3 constituent factors which motivates an action. That's where the previous class, the 18th verse, reveals that. There are 3 constituent factor motivates an action, which is another das, which is known as jnanam. Then that means knowledge. Jnayam, that means object of knowledge. And then pariknyada, that means the performer of the knowledge. One who is that the performer of that or the knower. Jnanam means the knowledge, and the name means object of knowledge, and pariknyada means the knower, one who does the action. These are the three constituent factor motivates an action. So this is none other than, then is also this knowledge is in three modes. According to the nature, laws of material nature, according to the laws of material nature, a person, a performer who has this, these are also, there are three kinds of the jnana, the three kinds of jnayam, the object of knowledge, and the knower, the three kinds also there. That's what is Krishna is revealing in the past verse. And then here, as per that, the laws of modes of material nature, and in this verse, Krishna is revealing that knowledge by which undivided spiritual nature is seen in all living entities. So they are divided into innumerable forms, you should understand to be the mode of goodness. So the knowledge is also there in the mode of goodness. That means in the sattva guna. Also the knowledge is there in the mode of passion, or it is known as rajoguna. Also the knowledge is there in the mode of ignorance, or the tamoguna. So here it is very clearly mentioned that. So let us take this a little further. So this constitute or this motivate an action. So we know that there is a jnana, then the knowledge, and then object of knowledge, and the knower of the knowledge. So this is also, of course, in the Supreme Lord himself also, whenever also there is a creation, there is also this energy of the Lord is also acting different way. That is also, there is Ichha Shakti, there is Jnana Shakti, and there is Kriya Shakti. That means there is willingness, or the Ichha Shakti, willingness. Then there is Jnana Shakti, that means the knowledge of that. And then Kriya Shakti, that means the action which is performing in this world. And it's also part of the Supreme Lord. It's energy of the Supreme Lord also acting in such a way that, and the Lord, takes all these activities accordingly. It's also according to the desires of that this material universe is created. That was his Ichha Shakti. Then Jnana Shakti, of course, the Supreme Lord is full of knowledge, and that imparted to the Brahma. Then Brahma also has this knowledge and started created these secondary creations. Then also there is Kriya Shakti, that means in order to do something, it's also come from the. So all these potencies are come from the Lord, the first of all. That's why Krishna is revealing that in the 15th chapter, 15th verse, Sarvasya Chaham Hrudi Sannivishto, I am seated in everyone's heart. Madhaka Smrti Jnanam Abohanam. From me come knowledge, from me come remembrance, from me come forgetfulness. It's all come from Krishna. So these are all part of Krishna. That's why Krishna, this super soul in these 5 factors of the activity, super soul is very important. It's all come from him according to our desire, and then it's taking place in the body, and it's as per the mind, as per the senses. Then anything which has to happen, why Krishna is revealing here to Arjuna, dear devotees, to us that how an action taking place and how it is taking place, and we think that it's all because of me. It's all because of me, everything, so that I am the sole proprietor. So what is wrong in it? This is generally people ask this question. Oh, I am doing everything, so it's for me only. And anything anybody does, oh, this is me, myself, me. Everybody is putting their name in the center, but behind the scene, there are so many things happening. This Shakti, which is also within us, this Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti, is also the Lord potency of the Lord. In one sense, everything is actually as per the potency energies. It transforms in various ways in our life. That's what is we are doing things, we are seeing things, we are taking things, we are thinking, and there are so many things Prabhupada put in the purport that. And even it comes which willing, feeling, thinking, feeling and willing. That anything which comes in that Ichha Shakti, which comes into our heart, which is thinking, feeling and willing. And then it comes to that's Ichha, willingness, that comes to us. And then because of our contamination, and it's like us explained last class, that it reflects upon us. And then which is actually passed through our soul, and then it's taking place in all these ways. So we need to understand this. So this knowledge it's also in 3 kinds. That is jnanam. That now we are taking the topic of jnanam. Jnanam means there are 3 kinds. So this is what is, we are come out of our ignorance. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, from our darkness to they ignite the illumination. So when we are in the darkness, we don't understand, we don't distinguish this, then discriminate these various knowledges. So ultimate knowledge is to understand that we are eternally part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. We are belongs to the Supreme Lord. In that consciousness, in that knowledge, that one sees everything as equal. And in the 6th chapter of 30th verse, Krishna says that one who sees me in everything, and everything, and one who sees me in everything, and one who sees that I am in everything. See that in the 6th chapter, 30th verse, Krishna is revealing that. One who sees me in everything, and one who sees me within everything, and I am in everything. That such devotee never lost me, and they've never lost Krishna. They will be always in Krishna consciousness. So this transcendental knowledge which reveals to us Krishna, to Arjuna, to us as well, that says that the knowledge, we should have that knowledge. And how we can have that knowledge, that we see everything, that's a transcendental knowledge, Param Gyan. Because of, we have to understand there is everything emanates from Krishna. Aham sarvasya prabhavo madaga sarvam protade. Krishna reveals this to Arjuna. Everything manifests from Krishna. Everything is coming out from Krishna. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. Everything manifests from Krishna. So when Krishna knows that, and everything is part and parcel of Krishna, nothing we can separate from Krishna. We know that in the Bhagavatam, and we are understanding this. So that knowledge which reveals to the Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru. Guru reveals the same knowledge, and Shastra reveals, Vedic scriptures reveals the same knowledge, and Sadhu, a devotee, reveals the same knowledge. When that same knowledge reveals to us, by which that knowledge, that one who sees that spiritual nature seen in every living entity, that same spiritual nature, or that means that spirit, soul, that supreme natures, as I mentioned, that all living entities are belongs to the superior nature or the spiritual nature and belongs to the Supreme Lord. One who sees that in every living entities, even though we have seen that many living forms in this world, many bodies, and there are 8.4 million species of life, and we think that, okay, this is different from this one. But because of that is our ignorance. That's not the knowledge. That's the knowledge in ignorance, basically. And we discriminate in such a way that, oh, this is separate from me. But when we see that we see that the same supreme nature, the spiritual nature, the super soul, Paramatma, and the spiritual potency in every atom, every living entity. And that knowledge is actually by which we can see that we are always in relationship with Krishna. So we are free from this entanglement, we are free from this individuality, we are free from this science, we are free from the ignorance. And this is the knowledge which takes us to the higher spiritual nature. So it says that in the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 18th verse, that Vidya Vinaya Sambanne Brahmane Givihastine Sopegaja Sunichaiva Pandita Samadarshana. So by virtue of knowledge, see that here the knowledge comes. By virtue of knowledge, a humble sage sees an elephant, a dog and a dog eater, and a cow, and with an equal vision. Pandita Samadarshanaha. Pandita means by virtue of knowledge. So dear devotees, this is what is Bhagavan explains to us, that we should acquire this knowledge. And how we can have this knowledge? That's from the mouth of the Lord. And who is the ultimate authority of that knowledge? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. And one time Srila Prabhupada was revealing that how we can understand the Supreme Lord. Only through the Supreme Lord. He is the ultimate authority. And then his representatives are revealing that the same transcendental knowledge. Vyasadeva compiled this, Brahmadev explained this, Brahmadev expanded this knowledge to Naradadev, Naradadev expanded to the Vyasadeva, Vyasadeva expanded to the Sukadev Goswami, Sukadev Goswami expanded to the Sukha Goswami, and Sukadev Goswami, Shavanaka Rishi, and the disciplic succession, we are having that same. And evam parambara praptam, evam rajarshya vidam parambara praptam. We are getting this transcendental knowledge. So this is the transcendental knowledge, original knowledge. And in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Vyasadeva writing, compiling this, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Janmadhyasya yadaha, in the beginning section, Janmadhyasya yadaha, it's all manifesting from you. And then at the last, it is all from the Vedanta Sutra. And it says that Satyam Param Dhimahi, you are the absolute truth. You are the absolute knowledge. You are the absolute truth. So, dear devotees, this is a transcendental absolute knowledge by which only that we can attain this, our spiritual nature. Otherwise, we'll be contaminated by its avidya. So that's why Krishna is revealing here that we have to have this knowledge. And why it is revealing? Because of by this knowledge only that we can come to that our spiritual nature, by which we can see that everything belongs to Krishna. Everything is in the Vedic scripture. It is mentioned that, I mean, Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha. Sahasra Shirs, he has thousands of eyes, has thousands of legs, has thousands of heads and hands and the bellies. We know that in the universal form of the Lord, everything is there within the Lord. So everything is just, and also in the 10th chapter and the 11th chapter, and Krishna is saying that, among the mountains I am Himalaya, among the trees I am the banyan tree, among the ocean of water, among the pool of water I am ocean, among the aquastic I am the shark, among the horses I am Chaisrava, among the elephant I am Airavata, among the devotees and sages I am Vyasa, among the devotees I am Narada, among the light, the stars I am the moon and the suns. And Lord is saying that everything is. So what is there that which is separate from Krishna? Everything is his energy or transformation of his energy or various energy, or it says that various expansions of Krishna, or various forms of his spiritual energy. But we see everything as a material, that this is just belongs to this. And we see everything is a material body, that we see that he's American, he's African, he's Indian, he's white, he's black, he's Chinese, he's Japanese, he's Korean. I mean, so many titles, these, the designations, we put it together. Then we act accordingly. Why? Because of our ignorance. So we have to understand everything is, that's why Krishna, Srila Prabhupada put this International Society for Krishna Consciousness. This not belongs to any sect of the people. This is for everybody. Krishna is for everybody, and everybody is part and parcel of, everybody is eternally related to Krishna. So, but because of the ignorance and misunderstanding and basically ignorance, we are fighting each other. So I am greater than you, you are greater than me, you are that, you are this, you are this, you are this, you are this, and everything you, and then everything is that selfish ego, the false ego, the ahangar. Then we forget Ajnanati Mirandasya. That's why Srila Prabhupada, when it's the Guru Praman, which says that Ajnanati Mirandasya. Our eyes are completely covered with this ignorance. Ajnanati Mirandasya. Jnananjana Salagaya. Ajnan. So because of this Ajnanati Mirandasya, our eyes are completely covered by this ignorance. So because of the ignorance, we don't see anything properly. So that's why we pray to the spiritual master that please, give us, impart the knowledge is to us. That's why we pray that Jnana Chakshusha, by this, please open our Ajnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Salagaya Chakshul Minidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. By the torchlight of knowledge, please enlighten me. And we are praying to the spiritual master. With that knowledge only that we can understand this, that everything belongs to Krishna, Krishna's potency, Krishna's energies, everything. So as always says that Prabhupada Maharaj says there are only two things, Krishna and Krishna's. And we should train our eyes to see like that. We should see Krishna in everything. Everything is Krishna. Everything belongs to Krishna. Everything is part and parcel of Krishna. All living entities are part and parcel. So because of our ignorance, we take advantage of it. Rather, we see that everybody in this world belongs to Krishna. So in this way, that knowledge, so in this way that we can completely come to that our very spiritual platform. That's where it is, where the Krishna conscious platform, that means we are renouncing our material activities, but we are everything utilized for the service of the Lord. Yukta hara viharasya, yukta vairagya muchyate, anasaktya vishayan, yadarham upayunchade Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairagyam. Srila Rupa Goswami says that. Anasakti Savishayan. Why we are asakti so much in it? Because of our ignorance. Anasakti Savishayan. Yadarham Upayinchati, devoid of all this material attachment and asakti and asakti and material, the asakti. Come out of it and Upayinchati Yadarham. Utilize properly in the service of the Lord. Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandhe. In Krishna Sambandha, in relationship with the Lord, Yukta Vairagyam Uchyade. One has to come, Yukta Vairagyam, that means, and very properly, Vairagya means detached. Not the attached, but detached and utilizing everything properly for the service of Krishna. Then only we can situate into that platform of Yukta Vairagya. That is what is Krishna conscious platform. So with that, with this knowledge, only that we can come to that platform. So in that platform that we see everything belongs to Krishna. Nothing. So then we utilize everything for the service of the Lord, not for the service of ours or me, myself, my family, my everything. So this the knowledge which is transcendental knowledge, which beyond or which generally considered as the mode of goodness. The knowledge in which is mode of goodness, so that which gives us such a transcendental platform, which takes us, which purifies us so that we can attain the transcendental nature. So that's why Krishna is revealing here, dear devotees, and I would end here with this note. Thank you so much for being there and part of this wonderful Sangha. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Are there any comments, concerns, questions? Anything you would like to add? Hare Krishna. Are you able to hear me? Just wondering. Able to see? Are you able to hear me?
Yes,
Hare
Prabhuji, we are able to see you and hear you.
Okay. I was wondering in between, I was getting that the internet connection is very low, and I was wondering.
No, we can hear you very clearly.
Okay. So any comments, any reflections? Anybody think would like to add? Or completely lost? Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranam. All good.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very wonderful class, Prabhu. I like the point. I mean, you concluded with everything is Krishna's or everything is Krishna or Krishna's. So that's like a very good thing to like take home with us. Very
Yeah,
helpful.
very, very true. There is only Krishna and Krishna's. What else is there? Everything is his various energies transformed into various forms. Yeah. Yeah.
Just a comment, Prabhu. Wonderful class as always, but we keep listening to this, that see Krishna in everybody, even in a dog eater and everybody, in animals and all. You try it, but the application of that is so hard. Like the moment, like when you get into the material world, like, yes, this is a reminder constant and it helps you a lot, because especially if, like if you have to forgive somebody, like somebody's really bothering you and you have to forgive, then you say, no, I have to see Krishna in this person. So I have to be patient. I have to see Krishna, and it becomes easy to forgive that person. But we don't always remember that. When we listen constantly, like go to the temple and then listen to these classes. That's why these classes are so helpful in the morning and in the evening, because it's a constant reminder.
Yeah.
And I was listening to my Maharaj's lecture yesterday also, and he said, "Ki Prabhupada, like people used to tell Prabhupada how there's so much repetition. You keep repeating the same thing in all your lectures." But that's what Guru Maharaj said. This is the reason, because Otherwise, it just sways away, it doesn't stick to your mind.
Yeah.
So it's the same message over and over again in different ways, like you listen, see Krishna and everybody, be patient, devotional service. But it is hard. It is hard when,
Yes,
like,
of course.
especially when you go to work, like, and, like you are exposed to all the material, like, thoda sa, Prabhu, like that thing comes in, like, sometimes, we start thinking that we are a little better off than those people. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
We are
Yeah.
more on a spiritual platform, and they don't know what they are doing. Little that false pride comes in somewhere, and then you say, no, this is not right. You correct yourself right away. But sometimes, you think, they are naive, like they don't know. They're not at that. It's somehow, I'm just, how to work towards this to see Krishna in everybody. Because the moment somebody makes you angry, it's all gone. You're gone.
Now that
And then
person is,
you're gone. You lose it because,
You lose
like
it.
you react instead of responding,
Yeah.
you react. And then you start thinking, then it starts sinking and slowly, look, no. And, like it's more with more closer relationships than with other people. With outside people, you're more patient, like you don't react like this. But yes, if my Prabhuji will say something, yes, I, sometimes just react. And then I'm like, this was so trivial, like, like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
so that it's hard. It's really,
very hard.
like the
It's not easy.
application is very hard to see Krishna and everybody. Yes, it helps a lot. Like to understand that you're more at bliss, when you start understanding and applying that.
Yeah.
But sometimes it totally like slips your mind, like especially when the anger takes over, it just slips your mind that he is or she is a part and parcel of Krishna too, just like you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very true. I mean, that's why, this sometimes we take it very lightly, the sadhana or the practice. So this has such a great meaning that our endeavor is very, very important. So we know that the story of, the two-finger short story of Damodar Leela, this endeavor is very, very important. So Krishna says that abhyasa yoga yuktena, by only practice. So sadhana has a great meaning for it. It's not that, we just chant, that is our sadhana. No. Sadhana is greater meaning for it. Every application, every aspect of our life, we have to have this sadhana. Sadhana means we control ourselves. That's why Sri Rupa Goswami in the Nectar of Instruction, in the beginning with like 3 verses, in the beginning of 3 verses, Nectar of Instruction is very, very important. First of all, we need to control ourselves. Let's say everything is first control ourselves. First of all, we understand ourselves. That's called, it starts from our sense of self-realization or self-realization. Who am I? First of all, it starts from within ourselves. Who am I? The sense of self-realization. It's very important. It's not that, okay, just I'm a spirit soul. No, it's not that just I'm a spirit soul. But what is the nature of my spirit soul? What is the constitutional position of my spirit soul? What is the duty of my spirit soul? This is all related, right? That's where once we have, then only we can even relate ourselves with the Supreme. That's called Sambandha Gyan. Then only the Sambandha Gyan even comes to us. Yes, we are all there. We are actually floating on the water, on the top of the water, just like, but we are in the water, but we are floating on the top of water. So that's where very important that, we have to control our tongue, we have to control our mind, we have to control and the practice, vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jihva vegam, udara upastha vegam, edo vegan, vidadadi, all those kama and all those things, right? So you have to control in that sense. Otherwise, what happens, even a small things, a person can agitate. And this is a very good example of it. A person in the gross bodily level, and there are different kinds of people. And person on the sensual level, and person on the mental level, and person also on the intelligent level. So that's where the person in the mode of ignorance, he's more on the gross bodily level. That means anything, even a little bit of he agitate with his body and he reacts with his body and so many things. And we know that like a cats and dogs, like people fight each other. Person on the sensual level, that means if something is not pleasing to his ears, or something he does not see, and something he's actually on the sensual level. That's more on the mental, and the sensual is actually in the mode of passion. So we can see all those things. A person is agitated in a little small things. A person is so much angry, so many things, and all the time, and using and not having this, this common, what is, or the very peaceful nature, always agitated by small things, and always trying to find himself in entanglement, or trying to find fault in others. These are all the various symptoms of person in the mode of passion, or the mental, or the sensual level. Always thinking about bad about others, and always find fault in others, and always see this word, and always accusing and that. So we can see all these the kinds of people in this world. Why? Because of he has always attached so much, his attachment to his senses are very prominent. Because when he's attached in senses, his attachment to the senses are very prominent, he behaves accordingly only. Even though we chant and all, but we are still like how a cow tied to a pole in the middle. We are just tied to all these things in this world. So when a person on the gross level react accordingly, respond accordingly, and immediately agitated quickly, and so many things. Person on the sensual and mental level always, trying to satisfy his senses. And we can see that the people, such people are even little bit things, they are so, he break up, just broke and shout and angry and so many things. And why? Because of even a small irritation or agitation with sensual enjoyment, he agitates himself. Similarly, a person when it comes to the intelligent level, now he is actually more on the now goodness level or things. And whenever he sees something, he thinks, this is not good, this is not good. Something, but he knows that this is because of that person's inability to act, his person inability to do things, and likes that. Then a person, so that's why it's always, at least we should come to that mode of goodness is the beginning of our transcendental nature. That means a person should be try to be on the mode of goodness. That means then he should eat accordingly. That's why this entire Bhagavad Gita 13th chapter 1 was revealing to us. A passionate person always eat whatever he likes to eat. And then it creates the problem in his body and mind and intelligence. It all affects. And by a person, the mode of ignorance eat accordingly, and it affects his whole mentality. Person in the mode of passion, accordingly, and it's also affect all in his mentality. And the person in the mode of goodness eat and do things accordingly, and it affects his mentality. So Krishna says that we can all come out of this various levels of this modes of nature, and then comes to this mode of goodness by following that whatever it is required. That's why it's regulatory principles. Don't eat onion and garlic. Why it is mentioned that it's agitate our mind and things like that. So this way, gradually, we can come to that platform. In that case, in that situation, then one that's not agitated. There was a story like that. Alexander was traveling through the various places, and then one time he came to the border of this Bharat, and he saw that, and he wanted to go there and ask for something. And then, he wanted to learn that, how to be more cool and how to be peaceful and how to control his mind and all. So this Alexander came in front of the hermitage, and this sage was in a deep meditation. And Alexander the Great, he is emperor, and he was asking, and he said, sage was meditating. He said, wait for outside for some time. And some time passed. Again, they came inside and asked, the sage said, wait outside. Again, 4 times his life like that. And this emperor, went out of the patience. Came out, he was completely gone out, mad, and ready to kill this sage. And then sage very calmly said that, yes, this is the one thing, this I was trying to test you. This is the one thing that you have to learn, that the patience. This is the first thing that in order to keep you calm and cool, and to make progress in our life, first you have to have this patience and the tolerance in all situations. So this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, the patience and the tolerance. So all comes actually as our gradual practices and understanding all this. Then what happens? Then we can at least see certain situations comes to our life, and we can see that this is coming out of it. I should not be indulged in that. I should be, steady in our determination, and I should not be, lose myself in all situations. So this only by the practice that we can come to that stage. Yes. Thank you, Mataji, bringing that point.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yes, I know. I think we have, all of us who are in Krishna consciousness have come a long way. I think we have, we are practicing, we are trying our best, and we have become better people, better devotees.
Yeah, better and better. I mean, it's, of course, there is
better each day we are getting better. I can say about myself each day, because I'm trying to practice, whatever, applying, just like you said. I personally know I'm trying my best.
I mean, it's very true, very true. I mean, one time one devotee came to our Bhakti Risha, and then we, before we start the Bhakti Risha, there is a chanting of holy name. And he was very involved in chanting the whole, very, sincerely chanted. And then he came back next week and he said, all my week is very peaceful. My week is, I'm very calm, so you can see that, how it helps.
I remember you telling that. Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
It helps a lot. Yes.
It
Thank
helps.
you, Prabhuji.
So we're the conscious.
I have to leave, Prabhuji. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, no problem.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Thank you for your reflection. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else would like to add anything? Any other comments?
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavad Pranam.
Can do it. All good. Yeah.
So, Prabhuji, when we want to see Krishna in all living beings, in everything, so that also means including us, right? So we have to first also see Krishna within ourselves, right? We have to feel and see Krishna within ourselves. Then it becomes easy to see Krishna everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah. Very true. Very true. That's a science of self-realization. That's why Krishna is revealing this to Arjuna even at the beginning of this Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is revealing, who are you, right? The question of who am I? Answering those questions, that you are eternal spirit soul. You don't take birth again in this world again, or there is no birth or death. For the spirit soul is cannot cut into pieces, and this all Krishna is revealing in the beginning of to Arjuna. And first thing, that's where Krishna, kind of broke the very material, the concept of life. Arjuna was very material concept of life. That means, I have to, if I don't do it, if I do it, kill everybody and all. Because of that, this all comes from me. I am the proprietor, I am the doer, I am the things, I am the controlling things. Because of me, that all happens, going to die and things take place and all those things. So Krishna, just the beginning that, Krishna is in the beginning of the second chapter says that, where these impurities come upon you, Arjuna. So this was ignorant, you are not in full knowledge. So then Krishna started to reveal this, and this transcendental knowledge that yes, you are. So Krishna is giving that knowledge to Arjuna, that self-realization. And you are, the part and parcel of the Lord. First of all, we are completely belongs to the Supreme, and we are not belongs to this material nature. That's our incompatible situation. So when we understand that, yes, we are part and parcel of the Lord, from me, from the Lord. Lord is seated in our heart. Lord is there. Because of the Lord, I am the spirit soul. I am also part of the Lord. So when we have seen that, and we are seeing that, then the yogi, that's Krishna says the word called that yogi, that one who sees himself, Krishna within himself, and he sees Krishna in everything else because of the same nature. So that's why it reflects upon us. When we have this understanding, the Supreme Lord, the Krishna, and then we chanted, we are in relation with the Krishna, then everything else clears up. And when we see, that's why, with this, the Lord, the light, Maya hi andakar, Krishna hi Surya saman, Jaham Krishna vaham Maya hi andakar nahi. That means wherever Krishna there is no, then darkness. So when you have illuminated with this knowledge, illuminated with this vision that I am also part and parcel of the Lord. In that one sense, I am also part of the Brahma. I am Brahmasmi. I am part of the Brahman. or Tattvamasi, that whatever it is, that when we come to that understanding, then we will start to see in everything that is Krishna's and Krishna's potency, that then they started to appreciate. They start to appreciate everything, every living entity. They don't kill. When we see an ant, oh, this is not to be killed, this is to be. That's because of Krishna's potency, it's moving. A tree plant is standing there. Yeah, this grows and makes beautiful fruits and flowers. Where it's come from all this? Also Krishna, the sun and the moon and the stars, the nature, the river, the mountain. That's why Krishna is saying that, I'm the mountain, among the mountain. These are all splendor of my potency. This is just a splendor of my potency. So in that case, as we see ourselves, that's why we have to situate ourselves first. If we don't see that I don't have any value, then how do we see the value in others? If we don't see that I am, I'm the part and the Supreme Lord, how we see the others are part of now? This is ignorance. So we have to come out from our ignorance, the mode of darkness or that forgetfulness, and we come to understanding that we are part of the Supreme and we are belongs to the Supreme. Our constitutional position is actually to serve Supreme, and everybody is actually the part of the Supreme. Everything is belongs to the Supreme. Everything is Krishna's potency and nothing else that is separate from Krishna. Everything is belongs to Krishna. So when we have that, yes, we would automatically, which reflects upon us. And it's easy. That's why, we have to practice to come to that level.
Yeah, Prabhuji. I think especially now, morning when we do the chanting, we try to feel the presence of Krishna within us. Maybe some glimpse, right? It's like a charging, right? An electric vehicle or whatever, right? Then the charge resides. Maybe the rest of the day, it's slowly again we have to constantly charge ourselves by chanting. So we will try to at least see Krishna within ourselves, and then eventually, of course, we can see in others.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I mean, it's the spirit soul. It's very, very powerful even, and we are not even coming closer to that, our real eternal nature of. And sometimes it's mentioned that when you chant the holy name, that means you are fanning. You're fanning, and it illuminates. When it starts to illuminate, and then it comes out with its original form, and then it actually sees the Krishna relationship with the Krishna, and entering into the pastimes of Krishna and seeing Krishna in so many ways, and it's all manifest. This is the spiritual realm, which is so beyond, right, material. So by devotion, yes, only that anasakti, what is it called? The Sri Krishna namadi na bhavet. By our mental speculation or the senses, it is not, but by unalloyed devotion, that the bhakti, the devotion to the Supreme, that with that intense, with that sincere devotion to the Supreme, then all reveals to us. All reveals to us. Then, like just for an example, there is two stories mentioned. Mrigari was killing the animals half killed, so that he enjoys that while they are suffering on the forest. They kill half. The Mrigari kill half those, as a hunter. But by the mercy of Narada Dev, he started his devotional practices, and eventually what happened when we come out of it, when Narada Dev came back again, now he is jumping up and down. He is not putting even his feet on the floor because of the ants are crawling. This is the transformation happens because of the realization and the knowledge and the mercy of the Lord. That's the same case of the Valmiki. Valmiki was Ratnagar. He was a hunter and a thief in the forest. He was stealing everybody who was passing through. One day Narada Dev came, and Narada Dev asked, whom you are doing all this? Yes, I'm doing all this for my family and myself, killing and enjoying the life. He said, do you know that you're going to, suffer for this, all your sinful activities? Ratnagar said, no, I don't know. You are doing all this and you're going to suffer. He said, no, I'm doing this for my family too. They will also going to suffer. I'm doing this for my family. Narada said, you go and ask your family and tell that, ask them that, we'll also share this karma with you. That all I'm doing. He said, no, we are not going to do whatever the karma you are doing. You are the only one going to suffer. That's the time he strikes to him that why I'm going to suffer, then why I'm going to do this one. Then came back this Ratnagar and asked Narada Dev that, what to do. I done all these things, all this sinful every day, killing and eating and all those things, stealing. They said, sit here. You don't know what to do, but sit here, at least to chant Mara in the forest. You say chant Mara. So all he did, the Ratnagar is like Mara, 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 Mara. He was sat down for 60,000 years. 60,000 years, the Ratnagar. You know what happened after that? Then later came, Valmiki came back. And after came back from the, it was Ratnagar, then Valmiki was the sand hill. That's why he got the name of Valmiki. When he came out and he completely transformed, and he saw that when he came to the Sarayu, the river, he saw that two birds were on the branches of a tree. And he saw that, one hunter was trying to shoot the arrow to one male bird. And they were into making the loving exchanges. This Valmiki all on a sudden from his heart, from his consciousness came that, hey, Ma Nishada, that means, hey, Nishada means the Katala or the hunter, the Ma Nishada, do not kill. Hey, Ma Nishada, do not kill. He was killing and doing all this, but he transformed and come to the stage of, hey, Ma Nishada, no, do not kill. And then that's where, the Ramayana, he started to write Ramayana based on this. See that the transformation happens. So we need to do that, our sincere devotion to the Supreme, then transformation manifest comes to our life, our, everything. Then we see things accordingly. So this is, I just put that those two examples, this gives us that, how it can help us to see things differently.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful. Very nice. Thank you. Very nice. Anybody else? Any other concerns, questions, comments? Okay. Okay, so then let us conclude this today's session. Let's pay our obeisance to all the assembled Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Vancha kalpatarubhasya Krapa sindhubhyev patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vaishnava ki jai.
Jai.
Mera Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Nanda Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Gaura Premanande Hari Hari.
Hari Hari Hari.
Jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you.
Prabhupada.
Jai.